Welcome to World Prism. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In the intricate global web of trade, the United States has become dangerously reliant on a single foreign power for a resource that forms the backbone of modern civilization: steel. This is not just a matter of economics, but a question of national resilience and security. This dependency on China has quietly grown over the years, weaving itself into nearly every aspect of American life. From the cars we drive, and the skyscrapers that define our cities, to the very equipment that protects our nation, steel is everywhere, often unnoticed, but always essential. Once, steel was a proud symbol of American industrial might and ingenuity. Today, it has become a strategic vulnerability, exposing the nation to risks that were once unthinkable. A single policy decision in Beijing could send shockwaves through the entire U.S. industrial base, halting production lines, idling factories, and stalling progress across multiple sectors. This situation didn't arise overnight. It's the result of decades of economic decisions, shifting priorities, and the relentless logic of globalization, which prioritized efficiency and cost over long-term stability. As China rapidly scaled up its steel production, other nations, including the U.S., found themselves unable to compete on price or scale. This led to a gradual, almost invisible erosion of America's self-sufficiency in steel. Today, America faces a stark and sobering reality. Its prosperity, security, and even its way of life are at risk if the steel supply is ever threatened or disrupted. To address this challenge, we must first understand how we arrived at this point. Only by tracing the steps of our dependency can we begin to break the chain and chart a new course. The challenge before us is clear: to reclaim control over this essential material, restore American strength, and secure the nation's economic future for generations to come. China's rise as the world's steel powerhouse was no accident. It was a calculated strategy, executed over decades with precision and ambition. The country's leaders recognized early on that steel was the backbone of modern industry, and they set out to dominate this crucial sector. Massive state subsidies and unwavering government support allowed Chinese steelmakers to flood the global market with cheap steel, undercutting U.S. producers and driving prices down worldwide. This aggressive expansion wasn't just about economics, it was about securing a strategic advantage on the world stage. American mills, burdened by higher labor costs, strict environmental regulations, and aging infrastructure, simply couldn't keep up. The result was a wave of plant closures, lost jobs, and devastated communities across the industrial heartland. By the early 2020s, China was producing over half the world's steel, an unprecedented feat that fundamentally reshaped the global industrial order and shifted the balance of economic power. The U.S. became increasingly dependent on these imports, lured by low prices and the promise of efficiency. But in chasing short-term savings, America overlooked the long-term risks to its own industrial base and national security. As China's economic power grew, so did its willingness to use that leverage for political and strategic gain, influencing global markets and international relations in ways that few had anticipated. The Trump administration's tariffs were a late attempt to push back, framing steel as a matter of national security and trying to revive a struggling industry that had already lost much of its former strength. But after decades of decline, rebuilding domestic capacity is a monumental challenge. The infrastructure is outdated, the skilled workforce has shrunk, and the knowledge base has eroded over time. The path to self-sufficiency is long, costly, and uncertain, requiring not just investment, but a renewed commitment to industrial innovation and resilience. America must now confront the consequences of prioritizing short-term gains over long-term resilience, and decide whether it's willing to invest in rebuilding the foundation of its industrial future. America once sourced steel from a diverse group of allies: Canada, Mexico, Europe, Japan, and South Korea. This diversity provided resilience. If one source faltered, others could fill the gap. But China's market dominance squeezed out competitors, forcing many to downsize or shift to niche products. Today, even close partners like Canada and Mexico can't match China's scale, leaving the U.S. exposed. Tariffs aimed at China have sometimes strained relationships with allies, complicating efforts to diversify supply. The global trade network is now so interconnected that a single disruption can have far-reaching consequences. The once robust menu of suppliers has shrunk to a single dominant source. If China's supply is cut, Other producers can't quickly fill the void. America's safety net is frayed, leaving it vulnerable to the decisions of a powerful competitor. The lack of alternatives is the heart of the crisis. Steel shortages hit at the core of American industry. The auto sector, reliant on just-in-time delivery, can grind to a halt if steel shipments are delayed or prices spike. Electronics, too, depend on steel for everything from server casings to data center frames. Construction and infrastructure projects, bridges, skyscrapers, pipelines, are all built on steel. Scarcity drives up costs, delays projects, and can even halt critical repairs. The ripple effect hits small businesses as hard as major manufacturers, threatening jobs and local economies. A single disruption can cascade through the entire supply chain, stalling progress and innovation. This isn't just an industry problem, it's a national economic liability. America's dependence on foreign steel leaves its entire industrial base fragile and exposed. Steel is the backbone of America's defense industry. Tanks, ships, jets, and munitions all rely on specialized steel, often with properties that can't be easily substituted. Depending on China for this material is a strategic risk that could cripple the military in a crisis. That's why steel tariffs have been justified as a matter of national security. If foreign supply is cut, and domestic production can't ramp up, America's defense could be compromised. Recent deals, like the U.S. Steel-Nippon Steel Partnership, aim to revitalize domestic production with trusted allies. The goal ensure the U.S. can control its own supply of critical materials, especially for defense. National security now demands a secure domestic steel supply chain. The U.S. government is taking bold and decisive steps to address the nation's growing steel dependency, recognizing the strategic importance of this industry for both economic security and national defense. Tariffs on imported steel have been doubled, signaling a significant shift in policy, from prioritizing the lowest possible costs to actively protecting and revitalizing domestic industry. This move aims to level the playing field for American producers facing global competition. Strategic partnerships such as the landmark U.S. Steel-Nippon Steel deal are designed not only to boost production but also to safeguard American jobs, technology, and critical assets for the future. This new approach blends foreign investment with strong national oversight, marking a clear departure from decades of laissez-faire policy and opening the door to more balanced, mutually beneficial collaborations. Companies are rethinking their entire supply chain strategies, shifting from just-in-time models to just-in-case planning, and increasingly exploring reshoring or nearshoring production to trusted allies for added reliability. Building resilience in the steel sector means accepting higher costs, but it also brings greater security, stability, and the ability to withstand global disruptions. Innovation is key. Investing in cleaner, more efficient steel technologies and modernizing plants can help the U.S. leapfrog outdated methods and remain globally competitive. Electric arc furnaces and advanced steel alloys are now central to the solution, supported by a combination of government incentives, research funding, and significant corporate investment. The focus is on building a sustainable, competitive steel industry that not only meets today's needs but also aligns with future economic and environmental goals, including reducing carbon emissions. The path forward requires a close partnership, combining strong government leadership with private sector innovation and adaptation to ensure America's steel industry thrives in a rapidly changing world. America's steel dependency is a warning about the hidden costs of globalization. The nation's vulnerability is the result of deliberate policy abroad and neglect at home. Breaking free requires a new mindset, one that links economic and national security. Recent actions signal a shift. Tariffs, strategic partnerships, and a renewed focus on domestic production. Companies must invest in resilience and innovation, not just efficiency. Rebuilding the industrial base is a national project, demanding bipartisan commitment and collaboration. The goal isn't isolation but strength, engaging the world from a position of security. By restoring its industrial core, America can secure its future and reclaim control over its destiny.